How's it going, everybody? I am Jay Shady, aka the Voice of Reason, and I am here with my Wrestlemania 3 review. So, like I said, Wrestlemania 2, thought it kind of sucked, wasn't a big fan of it, thought it was a big step down from the first Wrestlemania. However, Wrestlemania 3 was a huge improvement over both. It's, regarded as one of the best WrestleManias of all time, and now I see why. It emanated from the Pontiac Silverdome in Michigan. It still holds the wrestling record for most attended event, 93,000. They're trying to break that number this year with WrestleMania 29. I'll see if I'm part of that history, but yeah, 93,000, that's a lot of fucking people. This WrestleMania was just, it felt like the definitive WrestleMania. This is the one that defined what WrestleMania should look like and what it should be about. This created WrestleMania into the spectacle that it was. WrestleMania 2 built it up, but this is where it all came together for future WrestleManias. You had a huge crowd, 93,000, still hasn't been beaten WrestleMania-wise. Great commentating from Jesse the Body Ventura and Gorilla Monsoon. Great ring entrances. They had the entrances where they'd be in that little mini ring, that mobile mini ring going to the ring itself. Some good celebrities, not like an overuse of celebrities like the last WrestleMania. Some good guest commentary from Bob Uecker and some other girl, I forgot her name, but she added in some good stuff too. So this was a very definitive WrestleMania, and that is why it is one of the greatest of all time. So let's go into the card. The opening match was the Can-Am Connection against in a tag team match against Bob Orton and Don Morocco. I like this opener a lot. Very enjoyable, fast-paced, good stuff. A lot of good double team moves, good tag team action. Very enjoyable opener. Got the crowd into it. It ends with the Can-Am Connection, and these were two guys like very one-dimensional, very generic, very cheesy, smiley faces. But they did good tag team stuff. They did good stuff, and it ends with them doing a double team move on Don Morocco, and they get the victory. So good opening match to start the show. Then you get Billy Jack Haynes versus Hercules. This was an okay match. I never really got into the match. It was just a lot of, it was a brawl, kind of a big guy brawl. I mean, I don't have much to say about it. I just didn't really care for it. It wasn't nothing horrendous where I was like, oh god, stop this please, but whatever. The whole thing in the match was both guys were trying to apply the full Nelson on each other, and it ends with Billy Jack Haynes getting the full Nelson on Don Morocco outside the ring, and they both get counted out. So didn't care for the count out, didn't really care for the match, but it was okay, nothing horrendous. Then you get a mixed tag team match, Hillbilly Jim and two midgets versus King Kong Bundy and two midgets, and this was a funny match. I mean, you're not expecting a great wrestling match, why should you? But this was funny. I mean, this did what it had to do. Bob Uecker was on commentary for this match, very funny. Good addition to the commentary. The midgets actually tried very much. It wasn't like Hornswoggle where it was PG garbage bullshit. Like, the midgets were actually wrestling. Funny match. It ends with King Kong Bundy getting disqualified for beating up one of the midgets. So, whatever, disqualification. But it was a funny match, so I don't have a problem with it. Then you get Harley Race versus the Junkyard Dog in a loser must bow match. At the end of the match, the winner would be crowned king and the loser would have to bow to him. This was a short match. I didn't really care for it that much either. I mean, it was what it was. Didn't have much time to, do what they, could possibly do. It kind of ends out of nowhere. Harley Race just does a belly-to-belly suplex to Junkyard Dog, and that's it. A standard move that we see all the time, and it ends the match. Yeah, whatever. It wasn't horrendous, but it wasn't the greatest either. Then you get the Dream Team, Greg Valentine and Brutus Beefcake against the Rougeaus brothers. This was an okay tag team match, not as good as the first one. It was shorter. Quite frankly, I was more interested in Bobby Heenan's guest commentary, saying very funny fucking commentary. I was more interested in that than the match, but I mean, the match did what it did in 4 minutes. It wasn't slow, it was fast paced for 4 minutes. It ends with Dino Bravo, who was ringside for the Dream Team, gets involved while the referee's not looking and helps the Dream Team get the victory. You know, was what it was. Like a lot of these old WrestleMania matches were. I mean, the old WrestleMania is one of the gripes I have with them. Way too many matches on the card, way too many short matches. Some of these matches could have been taken out so you could invest more time in, you know, the matches that you do have. And then you get a great match. I like this match a lot. Roddy Piper versus Adrian Adonis in a hair versus hair match. The storyline at the time was Roddy Piper this was his last match, his final farewell match. Of course that wouldn't be, but at the time it was, so the crowd was into this like hell. They were into Roddy Piper like hell. He was so over here. Very charismatic stuff. It was a great brawl, a great straight up brawl. Roddy Piper giving it everything he had in his last match. Very charismatic. Had the crowd in the palm of their hand. Adrian Adonis also did good stuff. Good straight up brawl. There's a thing where Adrian Adonis, his finishing move was the Goodnight Irene, a sleeper hold. But Roddy Piper is the one that executes the sleeper hold on Adrian Adonis and gets the victory, gets the submission. So good stuff. I mean, really good match. The crowd was really into this, very, very much into this, and a good farewell for Roddy Piper. Enjoyed it a lot. And then after the match, he shaves some of Adrian Adonis' hair, not both, but some of it. So great, great match. This is a great match. A 6-man tag team match. The Hart Foundation, Bret Hart and Jim the Anvil Neidhart, and Danny Davis, who was a referee turned wrestler, versus the British Bulldogs and Tito Santana. I enjoyed this match a lot. It was the best of the tag team matches. It went on for, you know, quite some time. Great power stuff from British Bulldog. Great stuff from Bret Hart. You know, a lot of future stars in this match. A lot of great talent in this match. And it also had a funny aspect. Danny Davis, he was a referee turned wrestler. You know, whenever the opponent would be beaten down, he'd get a tag in, come in for 2 seconds, and just do like a little kick and then tag back out. You know, he doesn't want to get beat up, and you'd have him keep on tagging in throughout the match to just do like one move of offense. So that was funny. It ended with mayhem. Everybody gets involved, and while the referee's not looking, Danny Davis hits the British Bulldog with the Jimmy Hart's megaphone and gets the pin. So it was a really, really good match, great match. Then you get Butch Reed versus Koko Beware. I didn't really care for this match. I mean, it was short. I think the shortest match on the card. Couldn't get into it. Nothing horrendous. I mean, nothing on this card was like, oh God, what am I watching? It was just a lot of some short matches that, you know, could have been done away with in order to invest time in other matches. But Butch Reed gets the victory. I don't remember how. This is the least memorable match to me. But yeah, Butch Reed beats Koko Beware. Then, oh man, you get the match of the night. What a fucking match. Ricky Steamboat versus Macho Man Randy Savage for the Intercontinental title. One of the greatest matches of all time, hands down. I just want to say, if you are a wrestling fan, or for a long time wrestling fan, or just started watching wrestling, if you have not seen this match, first of all, the hell is the matter with you? Second of all, stop watching this review right now. Go on YouTube and watch this match. I mean, what could you say about this match that hasn't been said? What a great story, first of all. You had George the Animal Steel in the corner of Ricky Steamboat, being a good friend to him and also being obsessed with Miss Elizabeth. You had Macho Man being a douchebag to Miss Elizabeth. Also, before this match, the feud had Macho Man trying to force Ricky Steamboat into retirement by crushing his larynx. I mean, so much build-up too, you know. And Miss Elizabeth, I just want to say something about her. This was a beautiful woman. I think the most straight-up, just beautiful woman that WWE has ever had. I mean, she was gorgeous. She was classy. She was just elegant. Just a real woman that they just don't make, you know, in this day and age anymore. Just a girl that other, you know, girls could look up to. Loved Miss Elizabeth. This match, I mean, it was fantastic. Oh, it had all different aspects to it. You had technical wrestling, you had fast-paced chain wrestling, you had high-flying stuff. You had a great story, and what was great about this match is it's 26 years old, yet to this day it is still as great as it was. and you can see how it influenced later matches. I mean, this match is from 1987, but this is how a great match today looks like, or a great match from the Attitude Era looks like. You had all different styles, great sequencing, you had ref bumps, you had outside interference. The crowd was into this like hell. I mean, this match is 26 years old, yeah, but just as good as any match you get, you know, from the modern era. Yeah, just amazing stuff, really. I mean, I could go on and on and on. And for you people that think John Cena versus CM Punk from Raw is one of the greatest matches or the greatest match ever, oh, please, that was a good match. This is what you call one of the greatest matches ever. See the difference between both of those matches. This is a match with two legends, two of the greatest of all time doing what they do best, telling the greatest story that they can on the biggest stage of it all. So, you know, when these people are rating John Cena versus CM Punk, like, are they forgetting all these legendary matches that came before it, you know? But yeah, it ends with, there's a ref bump. Randy Savage does the elbow drop to Ricky Steamboat, but he covers him for 3, but the referee's not there to count it. Then eventually he goes outside, gets the ring bell to try to go on the turnbuckle and drop it on Ricky Steamboat, but George the Animal Steel gets involved, pushes Randy Savage off of the top turnbuckle. The referee wakes up, and Ricky Steamboat gets the victory with a small package. Great, it's just a fantastic match, one of the greatest ever. You know, I just, one little thing, I just think it could have went on for a little more. It could have gotten 5 more minutes after the ref bump. I think it could have went even one more gear higher to propel it to be possibly the greatest match of all time. But regardless, it's still one of the greatest matches of all time, hands down. Can't praise this match anymore. Great stuff. Check this match out if you haven't. Ricky Steamboat wins the Intercontinental title. Then you get Honky Tonk Man versus Jake the Snake Roberts, who is accompanied by Alice Cooper. I mean, this match was okay. I mean, it was just hard to go out and do a match after that, you know, WrestleMania Classic for the Intercontinental title. I mean, but it was alright. It was a brawl. You know, Alice Cooper added something into it. This is like, whereas WrestleMania 2 was the overuse of celebrities, here the celebrities were used, you know, in a smart way and not overdone. Jake the Snake Roberts gets the win. No, I'm sorry. Honky Tonk Man gets the win, holding the rope illegally. After the match, Jake the Snake Roberts and Alice Cooper, they take out Damien the Snake and they put it on Jimmy Hart, and he almost has a heart attack. I mean, this is an okay match, nothing bad. It was just hard to follow the previous match. Then you get the Iron Sheik and Nikolai Volkov in a tag team match against the Killer Bees. This was okay too, wasn't that great. I mean, this was just you know, a filler match to get to the main event. It was what it was, didn't go on for that long. I mean, the WrestleMania 1 match, the tag team match with the Iron Sheik and Nikolai Volkov was a lot better, but this wasn't horrendous or anything. It ends with disqualification, which was kind of Iron Sheik has the camel clutch on one of the Killer Bees, and Hacksaw Jim Duggan gets involved and hits Iron Sheik with a 2x4. So I mean, it was just a match in between to get to the main event match. Then you get the main event match, Hulk Hogan versus Andre the Giant for the WWF Championship, and this is a legendary WrestleMania match. And I'm gonna give this match, you know, I'm gonna give it praise. You know, I mean, a lot of people probably hate on this match, but if you're expecting a technical, beautiful wrestling match from Hulk Hogan against Andre the Giant, like, what the fuck is the matter with you, you know? Obviously, this wasn't about a wrestling match, you know, a 5-star wrestling classic. This was about the story. This was about, you know, the phenomenon at the time, just the fan interaction, the whole thing with, you know, like Gorilla Monsoon said, the irresistible force versus the immovable object. It wasn't about having a great wrestling match, so I can't rate it wrestling-wise. I'm going to rate it on what the story told, and it told a great story. So it did what it had to do. I mean, you had Andre the Giant, a lifelong babyface, turning heel, going against the top babyface and, you know, his best friend, Hulk Hogan. I mean, that's just a great like movie type story right there. And also Andre the Giant, 15 years undefeated in WWF as far as never being pinned or never submitting. So you had this like, is this the time for Hulkamania to get killed and Andre the Giant to defeat Hulkamania? You know, there was never, you know, more question as in this match put to whether Hulkamania would end. Just legendary. 93,000, you know, on their feet, watching this clash of titans. Wasn't a great wrestling match, but that's not what it was supposed to be. So I'm not going to rate it as one. But it told a great story. You had, in the beginning of the match, Hulk Hogan tried to attempt to body slam, a scoop slam, but his back gives out and Andre the Giant falls on top of him, almost gets a 3 count right there. And from then on, it was just Andre the Giant beating up on Hulk Hogan. And it was just like Hulkamania being brought down almost to its grave. And can Hulk Hogan rally against this giant who has never been defeated in WWF? So, you know, it was like a movie. It was like a movie battle. You know, you watch the hero get stripped down and beaten to the very, very bottom in order to come back at the end. And that's what Hulk Hogan did. You know, he gets Andre the Giant in the ring. He does a clothesline and Andre the Giant goes down for the first time in the match, and everybody goes crazy. You know, that's what this match was about, building up to the first time Andre the Giant gets knocked off of his feet. So great storytelling there. He gets knocked off his feet. Hulk Hogan hulks up, and one of the most epic, memorable, legendary WrestleMania moments, body slams Andre the Giant. Does the leg drop, gets the victory. Just, like I said, this was about the story, and the story was told beautifully. So, you know, if you want to say, you know, I'm overpraising this match because it wasn't a great wrestling match, you're not understanding the point here. This is one of those matches where I wish I could have been around to see the story, to see the hype around it. That's what it was all about, the story. And, you know, not every wrestling match is supposed to be a 5-star technical masterpiece. You know, there's that, like I said in my previous video, and then there's this. This was the opposite side of the spectrum. This is how the other half of wrestling should look. Entertainment and storytelling. This was amazing for what it was. So there. Great WrestleMania. Too many matches on the card, you know, 12 matches. I wish they could have taken some off to invest time in other matches. But I can't really brag on this WrestleMania. It was the definitive WrestleMania. This is the WrestleMania that really started it all. Really created WrestleMania into the spectacle that it is today, where people from all around the world come to see it. So, I'm going to have to give this an 8.5 out of 10. You know, you had some matches that were okay, but nothing was horrendous. And you had some one of the greatest matches of all time, Ricky Steamboat versus Macho Man. A great match with the Hart Foundation against the British Bulldogs. A great main event for the story that it was with Hulk Hogan versus Andre the Giant. You had some, you know, good enjoyable matches, a good enjoyable opener. So I have to give it an 8.5 out of 10. Probably at its time, for what it did, for what it tried to achieve, it was a 9.5 out of 10, or maybe even a 10. In, you know, 1987. As it holds up today, I'd say it's an 8.5 out of 10, but, you know, that's nothing negative on it. It's one of the greatest WrestleManias of all time, and very influential to the future of WrestleMania. So there you go. There's my review for WrestleMania 3. I hope you enjoyed it. And stay tuned for my review of WrestleMania 4 coming up soon. Jay Shady, Voice of Reason. Thank you for watching. Like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you later.